Did you know that CIG got caught misleading customers? That's right, back in June 2021, CIG announced the Attack Raylan, a new concept ship that looks like something you see out of Gundam. It was put on the pledge store for $225, but one person did something different. When Reddit user Mazdy got an email about the ship, instead of whipping out his credit card and punching the 3-digit security code in the pledge store, he reported this ad to the ASA, or the Advertising Standards Authority, because, and I quote, "there is no mention that the ship does not exist and might never exist," end quote. The ASA is an advertising regulator funded by the advertising industry, not the government, so it doesn't have the power to enforce legislation. But that didn't stop them from agreeing with Masty and sending a notice to CIG telling them, "Hey, you gotta knock that out." And CIG duly complied, so now every time you see a new concept ship, right at the bottom in fine print there will be a disclaimer stating that this ship doesn't actually exist yet, but it will in the future. In the meantime, have this loaner vehicle to play with until the ship becomes available. This money will go into developing Star Citizen, and of course, the game won't be pay to win. The Drake Vulture is coming out in Alpha 3.18, but did you know that it had a rather interesting history? CIG revealed the design of the Vulture back in June 2018, but some players from another sci-fi game noticed something peculiar about it. Not only was it very similar in shape and design, but it almost had the same name too. And if you don't know what I'm talking about the Vulture from EVE Online, which, funnily enough, is an entry-level mining ship. CIG claims that the Vulture had nothing to do with the model of the Vulture, insisting that the Vulture was actually based on the Drake Dragonfly. But that didn't stop fans from both EVE and Star Citizen duking it out on Reddit. Some suggested that CCP, the developer of EVE Online, should sue CIG for plagiarizing the Vulture, and it got to the point where EVE Online fans were accused of brigading the Star Citizen subreddit, and even the developers of EVE Online weighed in on it, albeit with a more light-hearted tone. They even released a new skin bundle for the Vulture in response to the Vulture, with the same color scheme. And let's just say they had a little fun with the description. But even a lawsuit wouldn't have gone anywhere, because design similarities wouldn't make a strong enough case that would hold up in court, especially given that one has fully detailed interiors and the other one doesn't, and CCP Games knows that. To commemorate this, CIG added a little Easter egg of this drama in an ISC episode. It's a little hard to spot, but perhaps you can find it. With digital ownership on the rise, with stuff like NFTs, NFT games have become more common. Games like Decentraland and Sandbox lets you buy virtual land that you can build on for crypto, or the much older Entropia universe, which held records for most expensive virtual assets ever sold for real money. But what does this have to do with Star Citizen? Well, back in November 2017, CIG announced that you too could buy virtual land with, of course, real money. Starting at $50, you can buy a 4x4 or a 16 square kilometer plot of land, or for $100, you can buy an estate, which is 64 square kilometers of land. To claim land, you have to be within UEE jurisdiction, so any planets or moons controlled by the UEE. So I don't think you'll be claiming any land on Pyra. From there, you have to buy a beacon called the Geotac or Geotac X, which will allow you to claim 16 or 64 square kilometers of land, respectively. And yes, you can sell or rent your land to other players, and I have no doubt that people are gonna do this with real money, one way or another. Which makes me wonder, who's gonna own the planet Calypso of Star Citizen? Of course, you can buy land with in-game currency, but obviously it's still in concept. And right now you can't even buy it with real money, because the webpage from where you can do that is unavailable. This feature isn't really well known because CIG has only discussed this once in the last 5 years, and judging by current developments, it seems like our grandkids might be enjoying this feature by the time it releases. Do you know how much money the average player spent on Star Citizen? The answer may shock you. During CitizenCon 2022, Chris Roberts announced that out of 4 million registered accounts, 1.7 million of them bought a game package. That's a conversion rate of over 40%. Now let's extrapolate that data. Using this website, which scrapes fundraising data from the Star Citizen website every hour of every day since 2014, I can find the exact amount of funds raised on the day of CitizenCon. Now we don't know when Chris Roberts wrote his speech, so let's pick the midnight of October 8th, which is the night before CitizenCon. Here's how much funding Star Citizen raised at that time. Now if we divide that number by 1.7 million, we get an average spend of almost $300 per player. To put that into perspective, That's more than if everyone in the game bought the Vanguard Harbinger. I think it's safe to say that I'm way below average. If you made this far into the video, thank you so much for watching, I really appreciate it. And if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that bell. If you're excited about the newest update and want to know more, I have tons of info on some of the game-changing features coming in the new update, one of which you can watch right here.